Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Game, and we are returning to Victoria 3. We have pretty much unified Germany, although that hasn't been made official yet, because we did beat Hanover and the smaller German miners. We are still in a war against France and Russia, though. We are hoping that we can get some concessions from them, although, to be honest, I'm not too keen on that. I don't think we technically really need that. The only thing, honestly, that I really want is the claim on Alsace-Loire being revoked. And nevertheless, getting some war reparations would certainly be nice. Let's see what we can get in that regard. We are going to defend against France. We're going to try an offensive against Russia at the same time. In between episodes, I did go ahead and set up a lot of railway production in some of these German nations here that we conquered. You can see they're still using traditional roads. Jesus, I really love it. It's fanciful. I like it. And yeah, we're just going to try to get the market access up to snuff. We are also trying to make use of some of the things that are very useful. For example, down here in Baden, there's the Black Forest logging industry throughput modifier. So we're building that up down here in the south. I think we also destroyed some factories, especially in the north, that were just like individual buildings that really were just hiring people. And it's usually a little bit better to kill these things first and ask questions later before people get hired, and then they get fired afterwards, and that leads to more radicals, which we really do not like to see. Right, so why are we having that many? Because we're conquering people. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Right, without further ado, let's resume the game over here and see how these battles are going to go. This one is probably not going to go in our favor as it looks, but that's just because it was a small attack. This one down here is certainly not going in our favor. We're probably going to be beaten back a little bit here, but I think that we're going to be doing better later on, especially since afterwards in Germany we do need to make sure. Here's one thing that I have a complaint about. Why can I not ask them to do something else while a battle is raging? I basically have to time it just so that I need to just keep an eye on that, and that's honestly a little bit annoying. Yeah, but I'm feeling better about this battle over here. Yeah, we are racking up about 3 times their numbers in kills. We've also seemed to have actually been successful over here in the east. We have conquered some territory, so that's lovely to see. We are using 200 divisions against theirs. This one isn't going in our favor, I believe, but still, at least we should be seeing a ticking war score. They're going much more in our favor. 2% lost for that, and 1 on ours. So, yeah, I think that's a reasonable change there. How are things going down in France then? I think we won a battle here. I don't see that right now. And it's nice to see that the battles are occurring in their terrain, really. And they're at least facing the same trouble that we are facing, that they just don't bring enough troops to bear in some of these battles. Even though they clearly have the numbers to be able to do that. But these battles, it's just often the attacker just doesn't bring enough people. Right, that being said, I think things are going reasonably well. Actually, Saxony, we needed to build up some government infrastructure too, which is interesting. We haven't seen that in a while. Yeah. How many troops have they lost? Yeah, 12,000 against our 5,000. It's a good ratio, but on the other hand, we would really like to not lose these 5,000 people if we don't have to. So yeah, that would be fantastic. And I would also like not to attack with a 2-to-1 disadvantage. That's much worse than the overall numbers would suggest, so it's annoying, to be honest. Right. Here they are attacking at least with superior numbers, although we still will be able to beat them back pretty niftily. Devastation is pretty high in their territory. It is also high in ours, but that will go down over time. Yeah, this battle here not going well, but I really hope that things are going to go better in the future. What happens if we get rid of this stuff? Well, the Russians would accept that, but the French don't. Just out of curiosity, that is weird that still counts as that still gives them a negative acceptance. But I think we're going to be alright. Let's see what we can do against the Russians. How many people is this costing us? 10,000. Well, not all of the wounded will terminally be wounded forever, But since we don't have opium, one of the issues that we are seeing is that we are seeing a lot of our casualties are actually like proper casualties, which is not good. We will need to deal with that at some point. But for now, our infamy is kind of high anyway. Yeah, we're pretty infamous. There is a small bonus here, I think, from diplomatic mitigation. We could try to actually see whether we can directly improve relations with some people. You know what, let's try to improve with some people here who are kind of close by. Some of them are pretty hostile, that's true, but you know, look at this. This is a much better battle over here. Oh well, Dutch East India is dropping out. That's also good to see because our colonies are a bit in limbo there. And that should actually make you guys relatively happy to accept peace. At some point, ooh, this is not good. Here they are attacking in force. And they're inflicting even greater casualties on us than we're inflicting on them. Obviously not a great choice. But look at that. We are conquering large spaces of Russian territory now. So I'm hoping that they are very soon going to accept peace here. At which point we can shift our forces and hopefully be off a little bit better against France. Yeah, but this battle not great. But look at that. France is accepting peace just before they really win that battle. Which is so much nicer, but that means all of these guys are now coming in a defensive capability. We don't want that. We want you to attack aggressively and push Russia out of this war too, because afterwards we will need to do some remodeling of our economy. Our economy is going to be in shambles in a moment here. 20 against 23, that sounds like a fair fight. Russian-French rivalry declared. There we go. And see, France is actually ending the rivalry with us. So at this point, I think it makes a lot of sense for us to revisit our diplomatic actions here. And who are we influencing here? I'm guessing the Netherlands. We can stop that for a second. And I would like to improve relations with France. They are cold at the moment, but I don't think there is a reason from our side why we would keep it that way. I think we're doing fine if we are at peace, basically. We've got Alsace-Loire. They don't have a claim on that anymore. And their attitude towards us is actually kind of good. They want to reconcile. So do I. That's perfectly fine. Our infamy is going to drop down over time. So yeah, that's nice. Pan-nationalism unlocked. We would not have needed that anymore, but there we go anyway. Let's go for steel rail cars, although I think honestly the rotary valve engine here is going to be the better choice because we need to free up some laborers. And that's definitely the way to do that. And other things, we could do that, but honestly I think that's perfectly fine there. Right, nice battle won there, Russia. Come on, guys. You want to accept that, I know you do. Who's not accepting that? Come on, guys. War reparations, and I'll let you off. Come on, you must accept. Well, we're certainly going to win that battle. Couple of days and they will get another tick there. Come on, guys. Yeah, they have more divisions than we do, but ours are much, much better. Okay, splintering front lines here, but this one we're certainly going to win against 4 divisions. And go on, that is going to be a quick battle, isn't it? Yeah, that should be at least. This one's going to be a bit tougher. And we are taking casualties here. I mean, this is no laughing matter, but, you know, just compare about how much we are losing against what they are losing. So, yeah, we are doing so much better. Come on, guys. You want to accept this? I know you do. Why are you not doing that? You can simply give up here. You know that. Well, we're going to have their... Great Britain was doing something here for a second, but they don't. Well, and we have some interesting proposals here from some other guys. But yeah, for now, I think things are going okay-ish. Now, this battle is not that great. We could potentially pull people off that. Human rights. Let's actually check our institutions here. Because I think we can do potentially a little bit better. Well, we could do for more colonial growth, but I think we are a little bit late to that game anyway. We'll probably have to do that by conquest rather than the colonial institutions as such. Not sure, does that even increase anymore here? We have a lot of people left over here. You know what? Let's build up more tobacco plantations, and a lot of them. 20,000? Sounds good. I think railway is something that we'll need down there as well. We should actually double check. No, there's nothing that impedes our transport capabilities. Right, this one is going to be a loss. 10,000 more people lost there. That's not good. It's not good. Come on, guys. Give up. You have a lot of reasons to give up. There we go. Perfect. Fine. There we go. Nice. Excellent. I like it. Okay, honestly, we probably do not actually want to support... do better relations with Austria. France we are doing better relations with. Let's try to get better relations with Russia, even though they dislike us a lot. France is doing fine. Great Britain is something that we are improving anyway. Yeah, and the French and Russians we'll need to deal with. Good. So, we are at peace here. Let's double check on a couple of things. Coal and wood is missing. Let's double check on our trade routes. We probably have some inactive ones and such. We are levying a lot of stuff on that. That's good. Fabric. We're actually exporting fabric. Why would we be doing that? Austria is selling and France is actually buying. Are they? Do we have a trade thing going on with them? No. Curious that they are buying fabric though. Seem to have a lot of fabric though. Clothes we have a shortage of. That is because we are exporting that. Dyes again. Why are we exporting that much? And to whom? Austria, Russia, France again. Well, we might want to put an embargo against France. Yeah, well, we are trying to stop the export of most things. Except for fertilizer, we're actually encouraging that. I think we should actually try to look for ammunition. Yeah, we can try to encourage the export there. And also, I would like to double check on armaments, small arms. Yeah, we can export more there. We have a surplus. And likewise with artillery. We don't plan to do another war in the meantime because we are pretty infamous here. So, yeah, no. How's our population looking? Pretty good. We are number 7 worldwide. We are probably far behind France, aren't we? Yeah, we are. Kind of significantly. Interesting. Okay, but here we go. So, what is my plan for Germany going forward? Well, the first thing is, of course, to go ahead and actually declare this to be Germany. There we go. We are now properly German. That's great. Journal, there are a couple of things that we probably want to do here. But I think in terms of foreign policy, we're going to go down the historical route. We're going to try to stabilize the situation somewhat. Whether or not that means an alliance with Austria, I don't know. There are a couple of places in Austria that I would like to conquer, maybe. I mean, they have got the South German homeland stuff, so it would be thematically okay unless we do become best buddies as was done historically. That will depend a little bit on our relations with Russia and France. So Russia seems to be very, very antagonistic to us right now, which I don't quite understand. So they are in conflict with us. Well, that's not technically true anymore, right? Okay, minus 300. That's still pretty big. They are a rival of ours. They're threatened by our infamy. They do see us military threatening and as a natural enemy. Not great. Not great, to be honest, especially since we are doing a lot of trade with them. They also consider France to be their rival. They are embargoing China, which is interesting. They are paying us war reparations. And even though they are paying us, we are losing a lot of money. Why is that, actually? Yeah, we'll need to get a grip on that, even though we're not really building that much. You owe an obligation to Austria, and you've got a couple of truces there. You're trying to improve with the Ottomans. A couple of smaller nations. How's France looking? Could we be friends maybe in the long term? We've got the Ottoman Empire, which is perfect for backstabbing Austria. You dislike France, but you also dislike Great Britain. Great Britain could be a natural ally, but the dynamics between France and the UK seem to be going against that. Alright, we'll just sit on the fence for a while and see how things are going on around us. In the meantime, we will try to get our economy going. And I think the first thing that we want to do is double check on this stuff over here. Make sure that we've got everything going on as we'd want to in our conscription centers and in basically all of our infrastructure. Construction, that seems to be fine. Yeah, all of these tobacco plantations, that's going to be useful over time. Oh, certainly everyone should do iron frame stuff. And then we've got the farms and everything like that. And in a lot of our conquered territories, this over here will not be the way that we want to. For example, Schleswig-Holstein here only is using simple farming instead of soil enriching farming. So I'm going to switch that over. It could be more ideal to do that a little bit more granularly, but we're going to do that anyway and try to see where the market will move. Do we want to go potatoes or apple orchards? Apple orchards seems to be the better choice here. How's liquor looking? Well, we have a huge deficit in liquor. But that's always a little bit more annoying because you sometimes just don't know how that exactly is looking. And the game overestimates. When you hover over that and it's a mixed production, it will pretend that it's switching everything around, which I really dislike. Well, vineyards is a good choice anyway. We're going to go with harvesting tools to free up some people to work in various places. Meat, honestly, I think meat is used pretty extensively, and I don't quite believe that that would crash the pricing that much. So we are going to go slaughterhouses. We are also probably going to go electric fences. Let's go electric fences. We probably will need a lot more there. We are going to go with, honestly, dynamite. Let's just simply start to do the best stuff that we can and then identify where we really have big gaps and see about that. Steam Donkey, that's going to free up a lot of workers. So you can see that's going to free up 96,000 workers at the cost of more engines. We're probably going to have a huge problem with engines. And, ooh, look at that whale. And using a little bit more coal, that's not a big issue. I'm guessing that the engines are going to be a problem. But you know what? I'm also thinking that dynamite, the explosives, is going to be a problem. But we're going to have to see. Right, that should settle all of that. Logging camps, though. Let's try to go for sawmills, hardwood production, steam donkey, and rail transport. And that means you're all privately owned. Do we want to go electric source? Electricity is going to be a huge problem. But wood is also, I'm guessing, going to be a problem. So we're going to keep an eye on that for a second. Steam trawlers is fine, and then that's all for the subsistence farms. Urban, we're going to do the same. We're pretty much going to, oh Jesus, we're pretty much going to go for the best stuff that we can. And I'm not sure what that is going to be, but we're going to try to do that anyway. Sewing machines, that requires dye, fabric. You know what, let's try it. Let's try it at least. We are going to face huge issues here on some of these things. It's really not going to be fun. But you know what, we're going to see how things are going to turn out. And where our specific shortages are. I'm only looking at these three consumer things here and not quite sure whether we want to switch off all of the luxury production there or not. We might. It really depends a little bit on how things are shaping up to be. Right. Chemical plants, improve fertilizers. I'm not sure whether we want to use that, but we certainly do want to use all of the explosives that we can. Shipyards, again, military shipbuilding, that's okay. I don't want to overdo that. Let's briefly look at rifles over here and see whether that is going to turn out fine. You should be alright though. Explosive shells, yes, I'm guessing we might reduce some of you guys. And urban centers are a hot pot anyway. We'll need to see how things shape up there. We can do a little bit more fine art, and I think I want bourgeois because we do like the capitalists. Government administration, we are going to reform that, and universities, you're also going to be secular. Right, let's have the game run for a couple of ticks here and see how things are shaping up in our market. I'm certainly guessing that there are going to be huge, huge problems. Right, for example, electricity. There's actually a shortage there, and a fairly significant one at that. So we will need to build a lot more power plants. We're also seeing a shortage of silk, for which we don't have anything. We're also seeing nearly a shortage for explosives, which is pretty hefty, and a huge imbalance for grain. That's interesting. I would not have expected that much grain to be missing. 12,000. Pop consumption is pretty high. I think that's actually a bad sign, because that means that you're using this as basic food. So that's probably because a lot of our places are pretty poor. Well, we've got an easy fix for that. We're going to go to the rural farms here and use more fertilizers. That's going to be a huge surplus in grain, and will mean that we're going to use a lot more fertilizers. We're not actually going to use more men, but we're going to use slightly more farmers instead of laborers, which isn't the worst either. We're only going to do that on the wheat farms though for a second. And then we're going to check on our chemical industry, which was in Westphalia. Right, there we go. So, fertilizer, we should see that balloon out of control now. No, not really. Greatest power for successfully completed. Well, that's nice. What does that give us? The hegemon. Control half the global population. I don't think that's going to happen very likely. But yeah. We can also go ahead and stop bolstering the armed forces. Although I think we are going to actually bolster the industrialists, because we want their bones to be high and nice. We've got a problem currently with the rural folk, which means less technology spread. That's not crucial. State construction efficiency is also not that crucial, because we are not even using that. So, nevertheless, I think I would like to suppress the rural folk. If we can push them below 5%, that would not be too bad. The church is kind of neutral to us. They don't matter. Let's try that on the legal side. And then try to fix our power plant shortage. We have a couple of people here, but we have a couple of power plants in Berlin, but they are not staffed, which is a huge issue. Can we get more people this way? No, just different people. With electric streetlights, and obviously that would pose another problem, because we don't have enough of that. So, power plants, you don't seem to be that efficient. Is there stuff that we want to tear down here? I think the glassworks in Berlin, honestly, yes, they are super productive. But let's tear them down so that they can be spread out across a couple of other industries. We've also got the motor industries. How are we looking in terms of motor? Yeah, the pricing here is also through the roof. Look at that, we've got a deficit of 600 engines. That's almost as much as we are building. So where would we be building engines? Honestly, there's only one answer to that, and that is Bavaria. Look at how many peasants we've got here. We've got huge room to grow, so that is fantastic. Even though I'm slightly concerned here about our budget. So, military, you're going to be paid less. Government wages are going to be kept low. We're going to increase taxes for everyone. That's going to put that as a nice 0 there, almost 0. We've got a bit of money left, so yeah, that should work out. Industrialists, what is our benefit if we were to get you a bit higher? More investment pool contribution. Yes. Can we get you to be a bit more happy? What laws would you like? Voting. Now here's an interesting choice. Because I think I would like to introduce more liberal policies. And the basic reasoning here is that I think Germany, as we see it now, has just undergone massive wars, right? That's pretty clear. And that is something that we need to address and that we need to fix. And there are social changes from that. We've seen a lot of people being drafted. We are seeing a lot of them being sent off to foreign wars. And I think that is one of the times where it just thematically makes sense to try to change up our laws and our government and our politics a little bit. The first thing is to think about, well, the first thing is to actually check on what we've got going here. Presidential Republic, now that's a bit harsh, and aggregarism. I really dislike that. This one, Presidential Republic, intelligentsia and trade unions would like that. A lot of people would hate that. The armed forces would be radicalized, not good. Junkers, I don't care about that much. Evangelical Church, I don't care that much either. Petite bourgeoisie would just be unhappy. It's not the worst. What would that mean? Reduced legitimacy things. It's not the most terrible thing. Although I think Parliament, again, the same kind of people would like that. And the same kind of people would hate that. I don't want to radicalize the armed forces. That to me doesn't make sense. But, of course, the flip side to that is, if we go down here, what can we do here that would make people like us a little bit more? We could go universal suffrage. Intelligentsia would like that. Again, a couple of people wouldn't. Census suffrage? Why don't the trade unions like that? Literal men of particular status are given a vote. Now, I would like, in the long term, to have the trade unions on our side. Because the trade unions, when they are happy, currently they hate us, but if they were happy, well, they would give us manufacturing industries throughput. Lovely, perfect, great. And they can give you workforce ratio, which is brilliant. We can be so much stronger. And wouldn't that be fantastic? So, yeah, I would like that. But can we get there? Can we make these guys happy? What would you guys like, and what would you like that also the industrialists would like? That's the big question to me. There's not a lot of overlap between industrialists and you guys. Pretty much you oppose each other on every single thing, kind of. Except for right of assembly, I think. Armed forces dislike that, but no one is radicalized by right of assembly, so that's not bad. Protected speech would also make you like us a little bit. Intelligentsia, I don't really care about that much. Evangelical Church, I don't care about that much. Yeah, but what voting systems do you actually like? Like a lot of taxation stuff? Is there really nothing you like in terms of distribution of power? Trade unions dislike, trade unions dislike, trade unions dislike, trade unions dislike, trade unions dislike. I think that's because Cecilia Schmidt is a vanguardist, which means she's strongly opposed to anything except for oligarchy and autocracy. And we can't go for oligarchy because of reasons. Because no one in government supports that. However, you guys would. We could go for oligarchy. It would cost us a little bit of authority. Aristocrats are very strong now. That would make capitalists a lot more powerful. So introduce the industrialists to power, go for oligarchy. Industrialists would like it. Junkers hate it. I don't care. And industrialists would give us a lot more money to fund our expansion of the German economy and rebuild that. And then afterwards we're going to try to get the trade unions in on the deal a little bit. I think I like that idea. The alternative would be to go for protected speech or something like that. You'd be radicalized. Right of assembly. Less authority. Technology spread, I don't care about that much. I would like the trade unions to like us a little bit more. %18 chance. We need to include the intelligentsia or the trade unions. No, I think we're going to go with the industrialists because they are super strong. Throw out the intelligentsia, get a good legitimacy going here. We're going to confirm this change of government. We're going to keep the armed forces in. And then we're going to go for oligarchy. Yeah, that's going to be the plan here. And in between episodes, I will clean up a couple of things here in Germany. And try to identify... You know what? That's what we're going to do in the next episode together, I think. And the only thing that I'm going to do immediately now here is try to find an import route for silk, because evidently we need some of that. Ultimately, we'll hopefully be able to produce that technologically, but for now, I think this is good. See, we do need China for that, I expect, because they do actually have some amount. And for now, we're not actually interested in China technically, so we need to declare an interest in one of their regions. I don't think it matters too much, so let's declare an interest in that region. That should be a-okay and fine. But you know what? That is going to have to wait until next time. Let's see whether we can get the social upheaval here a little bit down. Seems to be going okay-ish for now. Standard of living increases are a big thing, but we need to be careful that we don't fire too many people from all of these regions, because we will need to integrate a lot of these places into our economy, into our state, and make sure that they really work. That being said, Wars of Unification. Good stuff going for us right now. Thanks, guys. See you next time.